Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, per request, we're going to be talking about martial arts and obsession, and whether you need to be obsessive about martial arts to be successful in the sport, and if there's any negative aspects to being obsessed with your chosen sport, because very often the word obsession has a very negative stigma to it. So I can basically sum up my thoughts on being obsessed about martial arts by basically going back to when I was competing for Glory in Bellator. They would sit down in the interview stage before the fight and they would say, "Gabriel, what are your hobbies? Tell the fans more about you." And I would kind of look puzzled. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean hobbies? Like, this is my hobby. Martial arts is my life. And that essentially sums up, do you need to be obsessed, or do I need to be obsessed with something to be successful? Well, very possibly yes. Now, I'm not saying that putting some attention to a different hobby or a different aspect of life is going to impact your martial arts negatively. But for me, don't kid yourself. I have been obsessive about this. I have spent loads of time in the gym. When I'm not in the gym, I'm thinking about the techniques. I'm throwing the techniques. I can be cooking and then have a little 30-second break between having to stir something, and I'll be sitting there shadow boxing. I'll also be on the computer or the TV watching fights. I think if you put all that together, a lot of people would say, yes, that is borderline obsessive. But not in a negative way, not that it's impacting my life in any way where I go, oh, I need to eliminate this. This is no good for me. This is all positive stuff. And that's what I like to think of when I decide I'm going to put all my energy into something very similar to this YouTube channel. At the end of it, is it going to be positive? Is the time I'm putting into it going to be something that I look back and don't regret? And I knew for this YouTube channel, if I wanted it to be successful, I was going to have to put some serious time and dedication in. I was going to have to learn a lot about YouTube, how to edit, learn about the algorithm, what was going to make me or the channel be able to grow, and just overall, I had to put a lot of time in. And again, somebody might go, well, how many hours a day are you spending on YouTube? And I sort of add up and I go, okay, I have to think about the episodes, I have to shoot the episodes, I have to edit the episodes, I have to learn how to improve on my episodes, and you start adding it all up and you go, whoa, that's taken a lot of time. Again, it might be obsessive, but it allows you to be successful. And I think this might be the case with many things in life. If you really have a passion for it, you really have a drive, you need to be borderline obsessive and not look at it as a negative aspect, something that other people might go, oh, you know, you're a little too involved in that. You're putting a little bit too much love and time in there. And you just, personally, I can go, you know what? I don't care what other people think. This is what is making me happy. This is something that at the end of the day brings a smile to my face, and that is all that's important. And don't kid yourself. When you get obsessive about something, your improvement, your skill level is going to skyrocket. And I actually had this preached to me when I started jiu-jitsu. The guys were saying, you will not get good at jiu-jitsu if you don't really dedicate yourself. You need to be thinking about it when you wake up, thinking about it just before you go to bed, and that's when you're going to start to become a very high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner. And I understand that, because for jiu-jitsu, there's so much more that you need to know to become even decently skilled. Whereas in boxing or kickboxing, the scope of knowledge is much smaller. You just have to become an expert at everything because there's less to learn. And one of the ways that I like to compare, if I'm going to be prepared for a fight, is basically I look and I go at my opponent, I go, how hard are they training and how hard am I training? If I'm not training just as hard as them, that puts me at a disadvantage. And the same thing in thought process and preparation that goes into thinking about martial arts, the same thing. If somebody is thinking about it more, somebody is putting hours and hours of thought process into some activity, they are going to be superior at it, most likely, compared to you. And I don't want that to happen. I want to be at the top. So looking at martial arts and looking, is it okay to be obsessive? I would say 100% it is okay. And yes, there are going to be downsides to this. There are going to be times where people in your life don't fully understand why you're committing that much passion and energy towards this activity, sport, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. And my wife and I, when we first started dating, we would have just little moments where she would not understand why I was just so invested in this and why it took so much time. But then because she's a great partner and wife and girlfriend throughout the years, she very quickly learned why it's so important to me and the amount of energy I have to invest into it. So if you guys are wanting to be successful, go, yes, it's okay to put in an obscene amount of time and energy and thought into an activity, because that is going to be the most likely way to achieve the outcome which you want, whether it's just getting better, winning some local titles, becoming a world champion, whatever that goal is. A little bit of obsession is okay. That's just my thoughts on this. I just wanted to touch on it because somebody asked and went, yeah, I think I might be obsessive, and I went right away, I think that's okay. I just wanted to share that with everybody else out there, and also let the guy know who commented that he's pretty much on the same wavelength as me. We're both doing the same thing. We're really being invested in what we love to do. Guys, if you enjoyed this little episode about obsession, please give it a like. If you have not already, join the channel, get subscribed, train hard, stay obsessed, and I'll see you back here soon for another video.